So I've just created the coolest thing ever. And it's going to save me time. It's going to save me money. I'm not going to have to worry about a whole bunch of platforms. I'm not going to have to worry about a whole bunch of funnels. I'm not going to have to worry about where people are at in the process or trying to get them to a certain level before they're ready. It's going to go viral. This is easy to share. It's fun. It's gamified. It is my ecosystem, and I call it the one link to rule them all. So if you are a coach, a creator, or you're just really into creating geeky stuff online, you're going to want to check this out, okay? Because, I had this issue with the fact that as an entrepreneur, I just love to create stuff. Like, it is to the point now where I will go into a mom group, I'll see a question, and I'll just go and create a guide. And then I go and create another one. And then I create another one. And then I fall down a rabbit hole for the next several hours creating little mini guides. And they become super fun and easy. And the other thing is that I'm an ever evolving resource. I don't stay stagnant. If you've noticed, I up my game in pretty much everything that I do. Every 3 months, there's some sort of transformation. And, if you're having a hard time keeping up with all of the things that Carly is creating, well, this is kind of the solution. You see, I got to the certain point where I'm like, I don't want to spam people with a bunch of links, but I want to make sure that they have exactly what they need when they need it. And I also don't want to answer a whole bunch of questions that I've answered a million times. I also have so many videos now, so many guides, my book, my courses, that it's like, well, what do I put out there? And then I also was wondering, well, how are people supposed to share my stuff so I can go viral and do my world domination thing that I want to do of basically getting out there into mainstream if people don't know what thing to actually drop? Even Jenny had this issue, and she's my partner. She knows my stuff inside and out. And even she is like, I don't know which link to drop. So way back in December 2023, I created the one link. I created a little start guide based on what I'd seen other people doing. Now, their getting started guides were mostly just a sales page, basically to lure them where they wanted to go. And I'm like, I could make this so much better. And that is when I decided to create the one link. But rather than just tell you about the one link, I'm going to show you the one link. And I'm also going to tell you what the one link does. The world is changing. I feel it in the hearts of creators. I hear it in their stories. I see it in their strength. Much that once was trusted is questioned, for many now seek to rebuild what was lost. It began with the forging of the resources, freebie guides, books, master classes, and self-study programs were created. They were given to those who sought to learn from me, first-time moms, seasoned moms, VBAC moms, and those who had faced trauma. Even birth workers received them to share with their communities. But there was more. In secret, I forged a master link to connect them all. Into this one link, I poured countless insights, invaluable resources, deep wisdom, and a decade of research into birth culture. And above all, I poured my will to liberate mothers from the fear and control of the medical system, from the shame and guilt imposed by social conditioning, and to protect my time and energy. One link to rule them all. One link to find them. One link to attract them all and become the light to guide them. With this link, everyone would be served at their highest level of readiness. They would discover the knowledge, pick their path, and effortlessly filter into my ecosystem. And I would protect my sanity by not having to build multiple funnels and email nurture sequences or figure out what link to drop for someone. And now I share this magic with you. Use it wisely, for it contains a greater power than you can imagine. And only those truly aligned with their mission will be able to tap into the deepest layers. The one link to rule them all. How to create a gamified ecosystem that effortlessly attracts and filters your audience without relying on funnels and nurture sequences. So why do you want the one link? Okay, so typical outreach requires you usually to figure out exactly what someone needs in order to deliver value and invite them to go deeper with you. But most people are wary of being sold to. And I had this issue where people would reach out to me or I would reach out to them and I would give them a link to a bunch of different things and they would go and they'd be overwhelmed because I'd have so many of them. The other problem is that I notice that a lot of people, when they reach out to me cold, they're usually like, go into my Facebook group. But what if somebody doesn't want to go right into a Facebook group or right onto your newsletter? People are really, really gun shy these days. They don't really want to go in and dive right into your content. They're still getting to know you. But how do they get the real taste of you from bite-sized content? Well, that is what this one link basically does. People have basically figured out the trick of the email opt-in. So if they really want the thing, they'll grab the gift and then they'll unsubscribe from your list. This screws up your entire process because now you have a whole bunch of people subscribing and dropping off. And you know, the CRM does not like that. So people hate being sold to, but they love to buy. And, you know, sales pages tend to turn off buyers by long videos and copy that buries the shut up and take my money part. There have been points where I'm sitting there trying to figure out whether or not I actually want the thing. People change their sales pages around all the time. And I think, oh, this is for me. And then I get down and I find out that it's the thing that I already bought. How frustrating is that? To think that you were going through somebody's copy or watch a video only to find out that you already have the thing, or it's not exactly what you need, or you're like, you know what, this is just too much. I just want to find out what it is, and I can't find the link to buy, so I'm out of here. This is also a problem now with AI doing a lot of the work. So, you know, if you want to be ahead of the game, then you need to also recognize where people are at now. So if someone is looking for a different part of your offerings, maybe you have a multi-tiered system, maybe you have different courses, maybe you have books, maybe you have different programs and different coaching modalities. So they may not know where to find it. And they might not know where to even start looking if they are looking to work with you, to buy from you. If they don't know how to take your classes and all you're offering is a book, and they were looking for classes, that's a problem. If they already had your book, then that's an even bigger problem. And if they were like, you know what, I want to jump right into coaching, how do I get in? If you don't have this filtration system in place, you could lose out. So after you've created multiple resources, it can be so overwhelming for people to know the first steps and frustrating for you or your team to know what to drop as a resource call to action. You know, if you don't have just one link and you've got several links, then when you've got your content out there, especially master classes, or when you're creating reels and you're like, go check out the link in my bio, they don't know which one to go for. But if you have the one link, such as Linktree in itself, but beyond that, you have a resource guide like the one link, then what happens is that you have basically given them an introductory look at your system and who you are, and they can just go and pick their path. You see, funnels lose people. The one link attracts and filters everyone where they most want to go, and it creates built-in curiosity of what else is there. Because even if they're picking their path, they're like, hey, I like what's here, but there's more in this guide. There's more to uncover. And I even say in my content, the deeper you go with empowering moms, the more treasure you'll uncover. So the thing is, you can gamify the learning experience. People don't want to sit for hours trying to learn something new unless it's fun. So people like to binge on videos. They like to go through and do choose your own adventures. They love those quiz funnels, but often they don't want to opt into the email right away. So the quiz even loses some of its traction if they weren't ready to jump into the email and get their results. And if they're not, you lost them. Not only that, but they'd have to take that quiz multiple times to find what they were looking for. And maybe they accidentally made a mistake. And they're like, I have to take this quiz again. I have to put my email in again to take this quiz. It doesn't really work. Besides, if you've got a recurring audience, they're going to come back multiple times. So maybe they were a beginner before and they've been following you for a while and they want to know what else is next. With the one link, it's an ever-evolving ecosystem and you can keep adding pieces to it as you build them. So it's choose your own adventure and people pick their path of what they most want to engage in and how. And it's so awesome that they're going to want to share it. There's instant referrals, no hassle. Imagine if somebody is going to your one link and they're like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. I can't believe this. And they suddenly go into the groups where people have been asking the same question. Who should I go and check out? What books should I read? And they're like, no. Go check out this one link. And they drop your link. And now everybody else that was not knowing where to go and they were finding a million different resources are now coming to you. So what is it? Well, think of it as the one-stop library hub. You drop it, and then anyone who follows will instantly be filtered right into your world of magic and wonder. And it is the anti-funnel. Instead of getting a bunch of people opting into freebies and then jumping off your list, you only attract the serious subscribers. It removes the frustration of the paywall. Instead of your audience getting turned off by a pitch page, they get turned on and want to go deeper with you. And it attracts every level of your audience and niche and takes them from awareness to seeing you as the one with the solution to their biggest challenge. Basically, I put this through ChatGPT and I even asked if somebody just watched these videos and I put the transcripts in, how much more warmed up are they within 15 minutes or less? And basically from about 10 minutes in of jumping through a few videos, they've gone from cold, never heard of you before, to I want to know what's next. And they can go all the way to close without even having to opt into your sequences. They don't have to join your list. They're just automatically like, I want to work with this person. And they know their level. So the other thing is it showcases your authority without you having to run a webinar or brag. And it psychologically primes your market to want to go deeper with you. Now, with my one link, I have basically taken all of the copy and all of the videos and everything into a psychological sequence. And I can't get into that here. However, it is deeply, deeply psychological. There are mindset shifts that happen to take somebody from overwhelmed and not knowing where to go next to feeling confident in their path and wanting to work with me. So it saves time and energy. You drop the one link and you have instant support for any question. No more having to sift through your library to get the right link. The more I build onto the one link, the less I'm going to have to go into my Google Drive or any of my videos to say, hey, go and watch this one. The more you build onto the one link, the better it becomes. And that is the beauty of it. So it takes someone from cold to close within minutes. New prospects instantly follow whatever path suits them. And if they're ready to buy, they won't be turned off by a long email sequence or multi-tiered offers. So what do you need to make the one link? Well, the one link can be an interactive PDF guide with extra bits in a Google Drive. This is actually a backup thing I made last night, and it does work. Or it can be way more sophisticated as a web page itself. And all you need is certain sections and anchors, and then the links go to those sections and anchors. Once you actually know the overall structure of the one link, then you're like, oh, this is easy to put together. You need a basic idea of the common things that you are showcasing in your work. Testimonials, opt-in pages, resources. I have a philosophy and mission statement on there. I have my 3 paths to working with me. I mean, I'll show you all of this in a minute because it's so cool. I'm actually going to show you how this thing works. And you need at least one main resource for someone at each level of your audience. So for new, seasoned, and traumatized people, the ones that basically know nothing about you, know nothing about your method, know nothing about your system, and are like, I want to get started in this area. How do I do it? And they usually get overwhelmed, or they find a guru who is really just trying to scam them. You know what I'm talking about. You don't want them to fall into those traps and make those mistakes. Then there's the seasoned one who tried it before. Maybe they even followed somebody else and they could have had it better. And they're like, how do I make things better? Or how do I not make the same mistakes that I was making? What wasn't I seeing? And then there's the traumatized ones who have been so burned and they're like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that. This is my last shot. I need to figure out everything I need to know. And so you want all of those audiences and you want to be able to take them from awareness all the way to the buying stage. And you also want the multi-tiered buy-in, newsletter, course or book, and your coaching. So you also need to have some non-opt-in freebies, like a blog or downloads. I have my little freebie guides, social media content, things that don't require them to get on your list, because you want to filter out the freebie seekers. You don't want tire kickers inside of your deeper community. You want the people who are actually meant for you, who are going to learn from you, they're going to love you, they're going to share your stuff. This is going to help you so that you don't have to rely on paid advertising and then getting a bunch of leads that aren't going to work for you. So now you must wonder, how does this work? And that is the fun part. So I'm going to stop share for a second, and I'm going to tell you that the one link didn't start out this awesome, okay? So I don't want you to be intimidated at all by what's in here. I have been playing with ChatGPT for quite a while. I built the one link way back in 2023 in December because I was bored. That was literally the reason. I was bored. And also I was tired of figuring out which links to drop. I had so many things by that point. I hadn't even created my program yet, but I'm like, how do I showcase all of these answers to the questions that moms are asking without having to do a lot of this work, because I have other things I'm trying to do. I also wanted to make it nice and easy and simple for them so that they wouldn't fall into those traps. And I wanted to filter out the freebie seekers because I didn't want people on my list who were not even going to open the emails. That screws up my open rate. I have an open rate of 50% very easily with my emails right now in my deep dive weekly newsletters. Sometimes I send out that newsletter and I get an open rate of 20% within minutes of sending that newsletter. I don't even put this on a timer. It's just a certain day of the week that I send it out. And my list is opening them. My list is following me. And my list is going to share my stuff. The deeper I go with my list and what I'm creating, and the moms that are going to be getting my book and my program, the more I'm going to be able to get that visibility. So think of it basically as you want to answer the questions without you personally answering the questions. I recognized also that there's lots of things that I like to create, and I want to be able to protect my time and energy. Information is free, and I only charge for access to me. And so when I was creating this, I was really looking at a way to drop something or have somebody else drop something for me, share it easily. It's easy to remember. It's just empoweringmomsbirth.com/start guide. and then they can just go from there and they can find whatever they're looking for. Also, I wanted to be able to showcase my value to collaborators. I wanted to make sure that the people who were wanting to share this with their audience would know more about what I was about. And just recently, I had started recording a bunch of videos. I'd already had this idea in place way back in December of last year. But at the same time, I only now just had time to edit them. So I've got a new video sequence, and then I gamified it even more. I had already created the pick your path system, but then I added some emojis. So this is so involved, but it doesn't have to be. You can start out small. The beauty of the one link is that it is an ever evolving resource. Okay. So basically what you do is you create it. You can do the basic idea of it, the basic outline, and then you build onto it. Now, I use Wix, and my dear friend Jenny also created the outline for it. She did the templates originally, and then I've just been able to edit things. Jenny does have a service, although she doesn't take on a lot of clients. So if you do want to get in touch with Jenny and be like, Jenny, how did you create Carly's website? She does do that, okay? But not all the time and only for certain people. So you'd have to reach out to me and then I'd reach out to her to find out if she's open. And if she is, then we could get in touch. She doesn't work for free though. I'm just going to let you know that. But she's worth every penny or every cent, I guess, because the penny's discontinued. Because what she's done for me and this website, I love my website. It's fun, it's interactive. And now with the start guide, well, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you how fun this is, okay? So we're going to share the screen again, and we're going to go here, okay? So what automatically happens is that the first video plays. Now it's already gone because I've been playing it for a while, but it's very short. You see it's only 3 minutes. I was able to condense that. Now, I tell people to start here, and it jumps down and it tells them where to find their starting path on their journey. So if they were new to natural birth, they scroll here, and then what's true natural birth? Oh, they just want to watch a video. They don't want to go through and get the resources yet. Well, let's jump ahead. Wait, there we go. Oh, did you see how there's some resources up here? Yep. Every single one of these is clickable. Okay, so I'm going to show you something else really cool before we do this. Okay, so you go in here, and what I've done with my freebie guides is also a little bit of a one link in itself. I mean, I embed these with everything. So if you go into the text, you get a playlist of all of my master classes. So as I said, I totally geeked out on this, and then people can basically go and pick their path from there. Oh, actually, there's something else I'll show you after about just how powerful the one link to rule them all really can get. Like, as I said, the deeper you go with me, the more treasures you uncover. So all of these freebie guides, basically they can click and they can download. And then I also have my Reset Your Mindset for Empowered Birth mini challenge, which is going to change the game. It resolves cognitive dissonance for my clients, and it tells them right there, start here. And then what it would do is, come on. What it would do is it would take them to this playlist that has the entire training. So the other thing about the Reset Your Mindset, I'm just gonna, oh. So the other thing about my master classes that I want to showcase before we continue is that, as I said, there's another one link in itself. And the one link, note how I put the start guide right here. The one link is here. And everything in the very light blue text is embedded links. So again, you can go really deep with this, and then that allows you to have multiple different ways for people to basically learn from you, because not everybody can do video. Some people prefer to do text because they retain the information better, and some like to go deep and get those resources. So if somebody had already given birth before, then what I'm going to put is that they are basically going to the seasoned mom section. So we skipped the first time mom. We're a seasoned mom. Well, I still just want to watch the video, and the video explains most of what's in there. They can go deeper with the actual written stuff. And then, oh, there's the freebie page. Well, if they go to the freebie page, what this does is it takes them to the mini guides. See, and I've got all of those little mini guides, and every single one of them will eventually become a deep dive masterclass as well. Now, the other part is that if they just wanted to know how we're different, they'd skip to this section. How are we different? Why choose it? And I've told them why to choose this. And then, see how short these sections are? Some of them are longer. Well, let's see. Do we want the success stories? Yeah, let's check out some success stories. Okay, so I've said a little bit in here in this video about what the success stories are, just in case somebody's already heard about my two main success stories. But then I have the actual interviews from YouTube, and I wrote it out as well. Now, if they're ready to dive in, they want to pick their path. Again, you want to make this easy for them to binge on videos or just explore. So if I wanted to go, for example, and say, I want to learn about the empowered birth method. Oh, look, there it is. I've got my method. I've laid it out. I put it out even deeper in here. And then if they really want to understand it, I have some deeper videos for them for that. And then I showcased my book. And right here at the end, they want to jump ahead, and basically, if they wanted to know more about my social media, there it is. And I'll add to that and probably add some pictures as well. But if they want to go deeper and learn about the philosophy and mission statement, there it is. I tell them that the deeper they go, the more they uncover. And then I also have my contact form. So if they wanted to contact me, they could do that as well. And then I also give them ideas of what to do if they're a collaborator looking for the path. Just playing, they can just go and pick their path. So here is the 3 paths. And as I said, information is free. I only charge for access to me. So I tell them about the information is free path, and I tell them about my 3 paths to empowered birth and what they could get at each level. Then I say, go pick your path. So if they want free options, there's the do it yourself. If they want self-study, then they can go at their own pace. And if they're curious about the live classes and coaching, let's say somebody wanted to just check out my self-study. Well, there's self-study. And if they also were like, I want to get onto the newsletter and get the toolkit or do it yourself, it's there for them as well. So with self-study, I have also said what the self-study VIP is. I've told them what my courses are. Every single one of these takes them where they need to go. And then starting the self-study path with the signature and empowered birth workshop, they put their name and email in, and this then directs them to a complete self-study course that is very similar to that Reset Your Mindset for Empowered Birth program that I put out there. Like, it's just a YouTube playlist, but it also has the embedded links to the guides as well. And there's an email sequence to give them more. If they're new to self-study, I tell them the steps that they need to take. And I also tell them what to do to get more support. And then I also mention what's beyond birth. But if they want to learn how to work at a deeper level, they're like, self-study is not enough. I want to go to premium coaching. Then they head over here, and there I am. They can go down all the way to the intake form. They're premium coaching queen. And finally, if they want to know what's beyond, the ultimate treasure, my rise like a phoenix, birth healing and transformation, because birth is just the first step. And then, because this is so much fun, it's like, want to play again? You go up here and you get to go to the top. And then you can go and pick your path again and find where you want to go. So every single one of these basically is a gamified experience where you can just go and explore and reclaim your power. I've got my table of contents. And again, as I said, this is like the version 5.0 of what I started out with. But yeah, that's basically it. That is my really cool, fun start guide that I built that is just so much fun that even I have this tendency to just play around with it, and just scroll and mess with it. And if you want to know more about how I did it, the deeper levels, then you can always reach out to me. You know how to find me. If you want to play with it yourself, I'm going to drop the link as well so you can go and check that out. It's just empoweringmomsbirth.com/start guide. I mean, I'm probably going to build more of these as I have more websites in the future because it's just so much fun. Seriously, this is like the funnest way of creating a filtration system. And you just keep building onto it as you get better. You can replace the videos, replace the guides that you have. If you have one link and you basically have everything in a Google Drive, you can just continuously update things too. So that's pretty much, that's it. That's the thing that I made. It's so cool, right? It's super cool. And I'm willing to teach it. Of course, if I was to teach it, it would probably be a paid workshop. So if that interests you at all, or you want me to teach this to your own community, you let me know and we can collaborate, okay? So that's what I have. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And remember, a drop in the ocean creates ripples. Many ripples create waves. Enough waves change the tide. I'm all about changing the tide. And if you like, share, pass this on, pay it forward, then that's going to allow more people to see it. This is basically the most powerful resource that I think that coaches could possibly have in the future, creators, anybody who's an educator. And with the way that things are going and the evolution of the consumer, I think that this could actually change the game. I mean, it's changed the game for me. And ChatGPT even has been like, wow, like what you have here in just the videos is already like psychological transformation. Even if they never bought, they would remember you. And I'm like, well, that's the point. That's what I want. So you can explore if you want. Go check it out. And if you do know anybody who is starting a family or planning to grow their family or thinking about it in the next few years, show them this. And if you have any birth worker friends or you are a birth worker, definitely check this out because I'm here to basically make the job of birth workers so much easier so that they don't have to spend a lot of time on the basics with their clients and their clients already come in primed, knowing what they want and knowing what traps to avoid so that basically you can just focus on supporting rather than having to teach everything and help them unlearn their fears only for them to get stuck anyway. I've resolved that. I solved the problem. It's so cool. And all you have to do is drop that one link to rule them all. Okay? So I love you and I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.